In the 15th century, many of our churches were being enlarged and beautified. But often, as part of that work, one of the last things to be touched was the medieval font. After all, it was a direct link to our past, our ancestors each having been baptised in the same receptacle. However, by the end of the 15th century, even these were being discarded in favour of something that was more beautiful and better served to the glory of God. I'm particularly interested in one type of font, the Seven Sacrament font, where on 7 of its 8 sides are depictions of the sacraments. There are over 30 of these surviving in England, all but 2 in Norfolk and Suffolk. They first really came to attention in this book, Seeable Signs by Anne Nichols, published in the 1990s. And I'd like to introduce you to some of the sacraments today. We can date medieval fonts quite accurately, as several are mentioned in bequests or were installed as part of a major datable rebuild of the church. At Hesset in Suffolk, the stepped base of the font carries a dedicatory inscription. The fonts are of several different designs, many of the standard East Anglian type, where the stem has vertical figures and a chamfered support to the bowl. But whatever the design, each has a panelled bowl. Many fonts were damaged at the Reformation by locals or by the iconoclast William Dowsing in the 1640s. Some carvings were preserved by being plastered over, only to be rediscovered centuries later. More were recut or messed about with by the Victorians. Let's take each sacrament separately. Here is baptism at Seething in Norfolk. The deacon holds an open book on the right, and as Anne Nichols has detailed, the priest appears to be bearded, which is contrary to canon law. Holy Communion at Great Witchingham, which retains much of its original colour, shows the priest elevating the host, while a deacon, standing behind him, pulls the bell rope. Confession at Alderford shows a bishop with a penitent kneeling before him. An angel stands behind with wings outstretched, pushing away a devil who has a meat hook in the penitent's shoulders. This depicts the evil leaving the penitent at time of confession. Confirmation at Little Walsingham shows the bishop wearing a lovely tippet across his shoulders. He's approached by 2 people carrying children, and to the right is his deacon. Ordination is the creation of priests, and here at West Lynn, the bishop is supported by 2 deacons, each holding a closed book. Marriage is shown at Slowly. The bride and groom are about to have their hands joined. The bride on the left wears beads, whilst the deacon holding the service book is almost hidden behind it in the top right. The final image of Wendling in Norfolk shows the last rites, the anointing of the dying. The figure on the left is holding the oil in a chrismatory. The priest is anointing the ear of the person in bed, whilst the figure on the right is probably holding a service book. The Seven Sacrament font is just one of a number of font types to be discovered in our churches, but I think it's one that brings the medieval ceremonial to life and helps us understand what went on in our churches in the medieval period.